need to retire it for a second. I need some. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Super excited.
I'm doing
super excited. How are
I'm
you?
super
Beautiful?
excited myself. I really appreciate you guys. So I don't know. I'm super thankful. But yeah, I'm just excited.
We're grateful to have you warm.
Of course.
I was rushing to get off work. I'm like, I got something to do today. Like.
Well, I'm glad you was able to be with us tonight. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on into this. Guys, thank you for all those who are here. For those who are coming in, thank you for being here for our third episode of Indie Talks, where we come to you and sit with some of the most dopest independent artists, those who are doing a thing in the music industry. So, guys, tonight, I want you to definitely, if you have not heard of Jamya, please go download, support all I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself, but I'm Aisha, your host, Aisha Lewis, and of course my beautiful co-host, Jamya. And so back to what I was saying, I'm just saying the music is amazing, writing, and I'm super excited to have this conversation. So first of all, welcome to the show. Of course.
I am.
You are brand new to this. You started just literally right after high school. So talk about, your journey from graduating from high school and really starting into music.
So in high school, and then a little before that in middle school, I was in choir. So, and then before that, when I was little, I always knew I wanted to sing. But graduating high school, I actually had real big plans on going to art school for college, and then art school is real expensive. So that didn't really end up working out how I thought it would. And so for like a little while, like I don't know, when I get my head set on something, I'm set on it. So I felt like that was the only path. So I was a little discouraged for a while, like trying to figure out like, okay, what do I do now? Like, but after that, once I got over it, I was like, look, you want to sing, so you're going to have to figure it out one way or another. And so it just was, I just kind of asked people around me. Like I knew, I think it has started with a friend of mine who did photography. And I noticed that he was doing some videos and pictures for a lot of rappers around the city. So I was like, what studio they be going to? Like, and then it just started there. And then just really just asking questions, doing research. And then that opened doors to people who I didn't even know had knowledge that I needed. So, as I kept going, God was just opening doors at the same time. So, yeah.
Yes. Now, originally you're from Washington State?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now currently you live in Austin. Talk about like that transition from going from Washington State to Austin, and like how the music scene is, like the difference between music scene.
So, yeah, I knew I wanted to be around some more culture. I was definitely inspired by that. Like as far as why I came to Texas, then I know some people are like, then why'd you choose Austin? But like, first of all, in comparison to where I came from, it has a lot more culture than where I came from in Washington State. So that's starters. But then it was also like, I do have some family in Texas versus other places down south where I would have been just by myself. I was like, so I don't know. It was a lot of different things coming into play, and just it took a lot of prayer and then, finally deciding. But as far as the music difference, that's funny because I was actually just telling my sister I was feeling very blessed because I feel like I finally have go-to people and things established out here the same way I did back home. It was a lot smaller, but it was so tight-knit, and I could count on everybody back home that I needed. Which I still am. I don't like to halfway do stuff when it comes to my music and stuff. Like I'm very passionate behind it. So I didn't just work with just anybody, and I really had my select people. So it was really scary to leave that. And then it's also really scary to go to a whole new place and start reaching out to a bunch of people you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
you don't know who's like genuine and who's just trying to put.
Man, because that definitely, you definitely meet some people. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's been a journey, but yeah. And then as far as like the music scene in Austin, I love it. I don't want to. The thing is that when I was back home, clearly I moved out here pretty young,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's hard to say Austin is necessarily better because I didn't venture off as much where I was. I was very used to being around the same
Yeah.
people, my same friends, the same go-to spots. So it's a little hard to compare them, but all I know is I definitely love the music scene out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And plus, it opens you up
Mhm.
to meet new people. You're checking out the new environment and everything like that. So I'm quite sure, definitely, it probably felt like
Yeah.
you were out of like
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone, and then really trying to get back in, and but yet it was
Yeah.
so familiar because music is
Exactly.
home
I
to
feel
the
like I can
heart.
get pretty tense. And then like even like right now, it's like once I start, it's like we all talking about the same thing. We have our eyes on the same. It's just very nice once you just get settled and comfortable and get all that anxiety out the way. So yeah.
Yes, yes. I love it. And shout out to one of our mentees that work with Geneus, Nisha. She's been doing an amazing job. Hands down to her. So thank you so much for tuning in, Nisha. Thank you. So talk about your surroundings with people, because you said you obviously moving from Washington State, coming to Austin, meeting new people, and then you said your fam, you talked to your sister. Talk about that support and really trying to find your footing and getting in, meeting new individuals to be able to have in your circle, your music circle, creatively.
Well, I feel like what really kicked it off, which is nothing but God, it was probably, so I moved out here with my cousin, and that's who I stay with. We didn't know nobody, like we're just still getting to know, like, getting to know Austin and everything. And she had got a like pop-up for this R&B showcase, and it was like, it wasn't even a month. Like I want to say it was like 2 to 3 weeks like after being here. So I was like, yeah, like I'm about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she sent me it, I started looking at the artists who were there, following them, like just touching base with them, and met some really sweet people. That's something I also really love about out here. So far, the artists that I've met, it never feels like a competition. Everybody's very supportive and uplifting each other, and that's so needed. And then I know me, like I'm that same way. I've been wanting to be like, hi, like, and sometimes it makes me feel like I gotta tone it down when I've met certain people who are like, calm down, and I'm like, my bad. But yeah, like I feel like I don't know if you just meant musically when you were talking about my surroundings and meeting people, but so far it's very positive, very good. It started off, and that was another thing. I was underage, so I was contacting a lot of different artists, but they were at all these venues that were 21 and up. So I felt like I was like, I should be in that room. I should be right there. You know what I'm saying? But they were still very supportive. So many of them were like, when you turn 21, it's up, and so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I was referring to musically and of that
What
nature.
does it
So yeah, that's
take
amazing
for someone to work with you? Like what qualities do you look for in somebody?
I would say qualities I look for is making sure our music, is gonna mesh well. That's definitely my first start. Is just probably just going through your music, and then after that, it's also about how we vibe. I definitely I learned my lesson of having to check people and their intentions first. Like I said, I'm very like, hi. So then, that not every person who talks to you, not every opportunity is the best one. So
Yeah.
I go with that too. Like what am I feeling when I talk to you and things like that. And if you take care of business, because that's a huge part of it too. So yeah. Yeah.
that part.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
about business. So talk about, because I know you said that you talk about well intentions. What has been the most scariest part, or the most graceful and most fun part about your journey so far?
The scariest part is probably being vulnerable for me. It's scary for me, and I feel like every time I get there is another level of vulnerability that I have to conquer. So it's like you know, I feel like it started out with my lyrics and stuff like that, which is why I would say my first EP that I put out, which I still love, that's my baby, but it just sounded so much like what people wanted to hear. And I think it's because it takes a level of vulnerability to go with your own sound and tell people, like, make people listen to you versus then, you know, getting onto what everybody else sounds like. But so it started out with that, you know, trying to be vulnerable in that way. And then I got that. Then when I was like, I had a lot of people for years telling me that I should start like YouTubing more content and stuff like that. I always kept it on my little private accounts and stuff like that. And I'm like, why do you do that? And so that was another level, because ultimately I knew it would help my music too. And then now I'm on to this next part of performing, which for me, it also takes a level of vulnerability, you know, but yeah, just being comfortable with that.
Okay. And how, so you did a video about negativity, I think, if I'm not mistaken. How do you, like, just let our listeners know, how do you block out negativity and like comparisons when somebody's like, oh, well, you don't sound like this person. Well, I'm not supposed to sound like that person.
Right. Yeah. I definitely, if it's a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, it's so easy to just kind of, you know, because people are trying to get that rise out of you. Yeah. And I feel like that's so common, especially as a Black woman. As a Black woman, people are constantly trying to get a rise out of you. So I feel like I constantly practice, like, what'd you say?
That's their agenda every day.
Exactly. So I feel like it took so much, like, you know, it's like just growing up, like y'all already know, I don't even have to get into it. So a lot of times when it's able to just roll off, it's able to just roll off. I act like I'm like, we could play this game all day. I'm gonna act like I don't even hear nothing, see nothing, you know what I'm saying? But when the times when it does get to me and it does bother me, because of course I have those moments too, I pray. That's the first thing I'm gonna do is like, you know, pray that off of me, remind myself of who I am, like, please, like, those are the type of prayers I'm praying. And then after that is probably just talking to the people that's close to my team, because of course, even though some people are just trying to be negative, sometimes you also want to hear that, like, hey, somebody said this, what do you think? Is there something we could be working on? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay, like take it as like kind of like constructive criticism. Or...
Yes, exactly. And then sometimes they'll tell me, they'll be like, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, come on, we're not listening. But then sometimes they're like, you know, yeah, like, good point. Yeah. So.
Now, speaking of that, because just to kind of piggyback a little bit, like, what pointers have you taken, or to say from individuals, in a sense, to say, you know what, this is something I'm glad I took this and restructured and move forward with this? Like, what are some samples of pointers that you felt that it was negative that you took just to kind of restructure yourself?
So are you saying, I just want to make sure I'm understanding the question right. So are you saying comments that I took in and like moved with those, or comments that I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it this way and stood on my way?
So whether if it came from, you know, your audience, or what if it came from family or a production or a creative standpoint, what are some of the I don't want to say negative, what are some of the what's the word you used, Danielle, the criticism that was given to you? Yeah, constructive criticism that you felt like, oh, you know what, I wasn't with that first, but I feel like, you know what, I can take that and really restructure myself.
Okay, well, I definitely like this second EP that just came out. I got a lot. What'd you say?
We're gonna talk about. I said, what you gonna talk about?
Yeah, like it. I had a lot of people around me, the ones who I let in it, not just anybody and everybody, but telling me to get out of my little old school go-to, which that it's just my go-to. So yeah, at first I'm just like, that's my style, what y'all talking about, like, you know, but just adding a little more youth to it and a little more me, because that is still me. Yes, I have an old school vibe and it shows in my music as well, but I'm still 21, so I still have a lot of youthful ways and a very high and youthful energy. So I had to figure out how to put that into my songs. So yeah, I think that that's like a major one. Yeah.
Okay. What's something that gives you the most joy out of what you do with music?
I would say inspiring people. That makes me so happy. Like I've had some people, and not just inspiring people, but also realizing the difference I can make in people's lives too, like touching them in any kind of way. Like I've had some people who have hit me saying certain songs help them through tough times. There was this one girl who I'll never forget who told me that I inspired her to start her music back up. So, you know, things like that just really means a lot to me. And especially in those moments where it kind of feels like, because like I said, I put a lot of time and energy into my stuff. And so sometimes it'll feel like, is it really worth all this? Because when you're doing all that, sometimes it gets stressful. It's a lot of pressure. And then especially sometimes if you have the wrong people in your ear, and unfortunately there can be some people saying things like, well, you're just starting. You don't need to do all that. You know what I'm saying? People who don't get the vision, sometimes it could come off kind of discouraging and make me start questioning myself, like, am I doing too much? But then when I realize it's touching people and I'm not even, like, there's still so much more to go, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm on the right path.
Okay. And it's like you never know who's out there listening and who's watching. Like, keep going.
Exactly.
And I always say that because it's just like, you know, you never know who's paying attention. You never know who has an eye on you, because in that crazy moment, and I use this in all the time, and, you know, even to encourage myself and Danielle and, you know, anybody that's around me, because of the fact that, you know, sometimes we feel like we want to cry, we want to break down, we want to just give in, kick, scream, all the above. But then just every single time it give us some type of motivation just to keep pushing a little more, and then to hear things like that, like you said, somebody said that you inspired them to go get back into music. That's amazing. Like that, it touches you because it just gives you hope to understand, like, look, I got faith in myself, and I know my music is doing something is happening. So keep on going, because you're good. And I love the fact that you talked about the old school, you know, go-tos, because I've listened, because they don't know I listen to music over and over lyrically, and I heard like you got some of like the smooth like 70s and 80s sounds that's happening in the back under the production line, all that stuff. So it's like I hear all of that. Now in your songwriting, because we're going to get to this EP, first of all, in the songwriting, especially with the latest project that you have, Masterpiece. Lyrically amazing, hands down. Talk about the inspiration for that project, and then I want you to kind of go a little further in the fact of what gets you to be able to transition as a writer and really fall deep and to be able to get lyrical.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so first, what inspired Masterpiece was, it started off like, you know, I was coming up with the song and everything. And when I first came up with Masterpiece, like that was, I want to say, the first song I came up with before any of the other songs started coming in. And I knew I wanted to make a transition with my sound to more so match me and my lifestyle. I had decided to stop using certain language, stop talking about certain things because of like my beliefs and values and things like that. And so I just was like, I'm not lame. And so I don't got to start being lame just because, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, like they put those two together and they try and put me in a box. And so I'm like, how are we going to break this box? Right. You know? So immediately when I had that, I was like, okay, like, you know, I like I'm specifically talking about Masterpiece, just so you know. But yeah. And then there is a scripture in the Bible, Ephesians 2:10. So it talks about being a masterpiece. And so it just really resonated with me, especially because I feel like I consider myself to be a pretty impressionable person, which sometimes that's surprising to people because I am a leader, but everybody's inspired from something, somewhere, you know, and I came from a very big family. I'm used to people, you know, used to people's input in their guidance and things like that. And so it was around the time, because I had moved out before I had moved away. And so I had like, you know, I was just kind of in my alone time with that one and just had to define who I was for myself and really learning who I was. And so that was the first parts to that. So that's why that scripture sat with me so much, because it's like, no matter what nobody has said about me all this time, or who I thought I was, who I clinged onto, is like, this is who I am, and I'm a masterpiece, like good or bad, up or down, like just through all that. And so yeah. But there was a second question you asked me. I got so lost, so I forgot the second question.
It's all right. It's all right. No, the second part of that was more of digging deep in how you dig deep into your lyrics and be able to bring to pull that out.
So I journal a lot, and even if I'm not journaling, if I have certain emotions or just things that I'm thinking of, I'll put it in my notes in my phone. So a lot of times it starts with that, is me backtracking based off of things that I was feeling, and then going from there. I also, like, you know, put on some music. I also, me personally, I'm not a fan of just cranking out a song. Like, I like to just kind of sit by myself and really vibe with a song and figure that out. If that makes sense, I don't know. There have been a couple times I've been in the studio with people, and it's more fun. It's like, hey, like, you know, and it's kind of like that. But when it comes to like a lot of songs on the EP that are more deep, and then also with the structure and everything, I take a lot of time with it. And then also, especially feel like with this EP, I can't, because I really appreciate that, what you're saying about my lyrics. I just feel like I have to also give it to the people around me, my team, for that one, because they really pushed me too. Like, just like they kind of pushed me to step out the box with that old school sound, they also were like, you know, dig deeper, be more vulnerable, really talk in these lyrics, you know? So, yeah.
What was one of the biggest challenges that you had putting together Masterpiece?
I would say one of the biggest challenges I had was focusing. You know, it was during the time when I was moving and moved out here. So, and I just was so new to everything. So it just was so much grabbing my attention and just focusing on things that I had no business, and I just needed to focus up and get right. So
we all get like that.
Yeah.
It's okay. And now so you talked about earlier about YouTubing and putting together some videos, and you do have videos that kind of focus more on, you know, life and changes and different things of that nature. I want to talk to us about, you know, stepping into that role, not only as a creative in music, but as a creative, as an influencer. And, you know, what is some things that you want people to really just take away from you as a person? Not even as an artist, just you as a person.
I would say to take away from me as a person is, what's the words that I'm looking for right now? I'm so sorry. This one, it's just a certain word I'm looking for. I guess I wish this was better, but just being kind to others. Like, it's like, even when I'm doing those YouTube videos and stuff like that, and the things that I'm saying, it's because I want to share my experiences and things that I have going on inside, because I feel like it could help somebody else. And I just feel like that's one of my biggest things, is just like, we all are going through something, even if we got the biggest smiles on our faces, even if everything seems to be going fine. There's a lot of battles that you don't know people are going through. And it's just like, you know, be kind. And then also, please take from me that I am not perfect. Like, I'm not perfect by any means necessary. I feel like, you know, a lot of people be thinking that I have it all together. And it's just everything I have, and everywhere I continue to go, all those doors are opening and have been opened because of God. Like, you know, and I just keep rolling with it from there. But yeah.
And we saw that you recently had a performance. Now, being that you are in Austin, can we expect you to be performing for South by Southwest?
I wish. I'm not gonna lie. I really wish that. Oh,
we're gonna
break my heart to say.
Manifest.
Hold on now. Oh, I may have a connect for you now. Hold on. Yeah, I may got you. I got you, sis. Listen, I got you. I gotta see I gotta see if it's still open. But
Okay,
I got
yeah,
you. I'm
see,
gonna
and
have to connect
that's
you.
all that had happened. It just was like, there's still so much to learn about Austin, you know, so I got my times mixed up when I thought the time of year it was. My friend literally was just like, you know, South by South, like, you're not. And at first I was like, oh, stop playing with me. Like, why would you even say that? And he was like, no, it's like now, like it's about to come up. And I was like, oh, because they have so many festivals and stuff. So I thought it was towards the end of the year, just all this different stuff. And I wanted more on my portfolio of performing to be able to send into places. So yeah, that's how that happened. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna send you some stuff after the interview. Okay, I'm gonna connect you afterwards. Okay. And of course, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for definitely having this conversation with us. And before we wrap up, of course, I have to ask, who's the top 5 artists that you have that you're listening to right now?
Beyonce. I got you.
And you only get you
getting ready. She already knew.
I know I did. Because Beyonce is always so quick to say. Like for the past like 4 or 5 years, she's always my #1 listen to recap by far. But yeah, so yes. Beyonce, love her for so many reasons. But
you got your Renaissance tickets?
See, wait. We had a whole family group chat behind getting them tickets. And then I was looking at the price. I said, look, the only reason I'm not upset about this is because I'm going to work with her one day. So it's okay. That's going to make up for it.
It's all right. It's all right. Listen, I feel like Beyonce with these Renaissance tickets in the process, was trying to destroy friendships and families. I don't know what's going on. It was destroying us.
But okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Okay, so I got Beyonce, Ari Lennox. Okay, I love Ari Lennox. Cleo Sol. Do y'all know who Cleo Sol is? Yes.
Yes. Yes, I love Cleo Sol.
Naomi Rain. She's another. I'm hoping like y'all will catch them when I throw them because I know some of them aren't too big.
Yeah.
Yes.
She sings with Maverick.
Yes, and I love Maverick City too, but I also love her music alone.
Yes.
I probably gotta give the last one to Jasmine Sullivan. I love Jasmine Sullivan. Yeah. Yeah, you will probably always. I be feeling bad. So many people tell me I put them to sleep when they're driving the car with me. Like it's always some slow vibes. What'd you say?
I get that too. I'm always listening to like Isley Brothers stuff, Al Green.
Yes.
And they be like, all right, kill the DJ. And I'm like, listen.
I'm like, look,
that's my kind of music.
If I went into the club and they was playing, I would never be mad. I'd be like, yes, like go play, go to slow jam.
Now people might be looking at you like, sis,
somebody was raised if they're not listening to like old school R&B. You can always tell. Like your mom was not cleaning early in the morning.
That be making them mad though. They don't want to hear that. But look,
listen. I'm still trying to figure out, when my son get older, what he gonna be listening to. Like you gonna be listening to, Cardi and B like you see on Saturday mornings. I don't know.
No.
I try to teach him while he's young. I'm teaching him while he's young. You gotta listen to some Aretha. You gotta listen to some Anita, Babyface, and all that.
Yes, indeed.
Passing it, I get a little nervous for the Gen Zs and the babies. I get a little
That's
little.
Okay. They got some people who still got it alive out there. It's gonna spread some way.
You're right. You're so right. I give it to him. Whoo, Lord. But first off, hands down, this is amazing. Please don't forget to connect me afterwards.
Okay, I
got you on something. I love your story. I love that, the start, because there are a lot of artists who, it takes some time to find their footing and to where it is that they really want. I really feel like just from listening from your first EP to now Masterpiece is that you're definitely finding your way. You definitely have a home in regards to the music and that you put out. and you have a placement. And I think that this is only the beginning of what you have that's going to continue to grow. And it's going to grow to be amazingly where, to the point where you're going to be on all different stages across the world. And I speak that into you because of the fact that I can see it. So keep doing what you do. Don't give up, and keep encouraging other people.
Thank you so much.
I
I really appreciate that.
Of course. Danielle, would you like to wrap up with our favorite question of the day? The interview?
Oh, what is I had a brain fart. What is a good like piece of advice that you can give? Just one piece of advice that you can give to anybody that's like looking to break into this industry, writing, singing, producing, whatever it is that they may want to do.
I would say if you see the vision, it doesn't matter where you are, who you got for support, whatever you see, stand on it, go for it, and don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for that. And guys, if you are not following or you are not listening to the music, please let's support our independent artists. I cannot say that. We say this every live. Support our independent artists. You do not understand how much it takes to be an indie artist. It's not a full label behind them. It's them. And whatever family support that they may have, whatever support they may have. So please make sure that we are supporting. Go please not only stream the music, download and purchase the music. Trust me, I already done purchased it. I tell you every week, my credit card is hot. It's hot.
Thank you. Thank you.
So please make sure you are supporting. And to please, what's next? Tell them what's next. What's going on? I don't know if you got somebody you want to put, your at the in the chat or whatever the deal is, but drop some information. What's going on?
What's next is, visuals, performing, like just really doing everything in my power to expand this EP and get my name out there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a short sum up, but I'm trying to make it big. So, just even if it's, and then of course my content, stay tuned in with that.
Yes, because you're also an influencer.
Yes. The link is in my bio, but you said put it in here. I got my website has everything. It has the link to my music. It has the link to my YouTube, and also like some people I'll collab with for photo shoots and all that good stuff. So it's fun.
Listen, this is the time to make your connections. All right. So guys, thank you. If you're not, like I said, go support. If you're not following, please make sure you follow. She put the website in the chat, so make sure you go do your thing, like, subscribe, repost, whatever it is that you need to do to support it. And if you are not following Geneus RS, please make sure that you are hitting that tap in button and follow us. Listen, we are supporting a lot of independent artists over here. Please, we're putting up music. We got music reviews. We are supporting the new music that you do put out. Check out our Music Fridays. And also check out our latest on YouTube with this interview, which is going to be on. So please make sure you go subscribe. All right.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you. We just want to say thank you so much for definitely coming through, sitting around and just chopping it up with us. You know what I'm saying? It's just some Black girls just really having a conversation.
Right. This felt like I was just chilling with my friends. I can't lie.
How we
how we wanted it to be.
That's the vibe we love to give. Just make it.
That's what we want. So first off, thank you again. And once again, God bless and do your thing, okay? And you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Okay.
Zoom.
Yeah. But love her energy.
Yes.
Love spirit. Guys, if you have not checked out Jamya's EP, Masterpiece, please check it out. It's everywhere. Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on Tidal. It's on Apple Music. Purchase, subscribe, everything. Just follow, tap in with her.
I had to
her music.
Buy extra space today on my phone.
Lord.
Because I have so much music. I was just like, oh man, I gotta go. I had to get the terabyte. It's so much music. So guys, tap in. Also next week we are putting out episode number 2 of Let's run that back. Listen, we talked about everything from Grammys when we was out there, LA,
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl halftime show. We talked about a lot of juicy news as well. You know, a lot of things.
A little shady, but I ain't gonna say who.
They all thought I was being a little shady, but you know, it's all right, all right. You know, it was just a little something, but you know, it wasn't too much. But guys, definitely make check out for that. That's gonna be released on this coming up Monday as well. And guys, tune in back here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We are talking. We got a whole roster. And listen, we booked up, okay?
Yes, we got
booked up. Thank God.
Also, before we go, I do want to just plug in, check out if you are in the New York City area. Check out Port Chicago 50, which is a play. It's playing at Theater Row in Times Square. If you are a World War II buff, if you are a civil rights buff, pretty much it's just a story about
if you're just a black buff that's just want to know black history.
Hello, Black history, but American history.
Exactly.
So pretty much it's a story about these young black naval men who are working on Port Chicago and San Francisco, and they're basically not taught how to lug the missiles on the ship, and an explosion happens, and then they are court-martialed, and basically just fighting for equality and the American dream. So
yeah. Yes, Dale, I had the pleasure of actually seeing the play and actually taking part to be able to interview some of the cast members, which we are going to put out some of that footage real soon. So guys, definitely make sure you go check it out. It's amazing. If you love history and you love Black history, please we want to bring attention to this and bring awareness to these soldiers and to these Navy men that definitely fought the good fight. At Port Chicago and lost their lives. We lost their lives due to not being taught properly.
Exactly.
So definitely. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for always supporting. We love you. We love you. We love you. All right, guys, we got some amazing things coming up for you. So please make sure if you're not following, please tap in with us. All right. So guys, you already know. All right. I'm your host, Aisha Lewis Redway.
Hey girl, thing.
All right. And you already know it's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. And guys, you already know it don't get no realer than this. All right, so till next time, peace.